Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to Eclipse reading as I promised on my message of the day. So, I just wanted to briefly give you astrological update and then I'm going to do sign wise tarot reading for each sign. First of all, the eclipse is already over today in the afternoon, Finnish time, and I'm recording it in the evening because, again, I'm not very good with timings. Most of my followers know that, but luckily eclipse energy lasts for 6 months till next eclipse. So it might be still a good idea to record these videos and upload them because it will guide you for next 6 months. So this eclipse is a special one because it's happening after 580 years. This is eclipse where the eclipse lasts for very long because the distance between Earth and Moon is way too much. Because of that, the eclipse time lasts for very long, and that's why it brings different kind of changes in different people's uh, life. Anyhow, eclipse is a very and this one is a full eclipse also. So I've just noted the position of few prominent planets that are playing an important role. Of course, Sun, Moon, Rahu, and Ketu, they play a very important role in any eclipse. But then in today's eclipse, we have Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn also making some kind of contribution based on what I have observed. I know there are different astrologers who would differ from me, but this is my interpretation. So, when I'm talking about astrology, I'm talking more about a generic view of how humans on a global level and institutions on global level would be acting and reacting because of this eclipse energy. So, first of all, it's a test for humans like each individual like you and me. How perfect are we in controlling our senses, and how much are we running after our sensual pleasures? And it could be anything. Don't judge yourself, don't judge anyone for that matter. And I don't expect you to just leave all your sensual pleasures for next 6 months. I just want you to be aware of your sensual pleasures because no one can stop them, and it's stupid to stop them because it will mess up with your brain. But then it says that you should be aware when to stop getting into sensual pleasure and when to continue with your sensual pleasure. If you are aware of that, it's good. It's a kind of test of that. So those who are able to stop their sensual pleasures at the right time, like do not overindulge into them, Rahu is actually going to give them a lot of blessings to move forward in life, and that's where a lot of blessings are going to come in for individuals on a global level. And I'm seeing that people would lose trust on institutions and follow their own patterns. They will understand how their body is acting and reacting to various things, and they will start following their own pattern rather than trusting institutions like medical institutions and all those things who are putting you under a lot of medications, unnecessary things, just to keep the money flowing. And you would actually deal with that in a long run, and you'll see that governments would find themselves a bit of struggling. Intergovernmental relations, like one country's relationship with another, it's it's already being observed, and it's going to be even more stressful in next 6 months. So that won't be a surprise. And only thing that I'm scared about is that um, there could be a severe cold war kind of situation or even a war kind of situation, but I don't see the actual war happening in next 6 months. But people would be speculating worse during this time. And on the other hand, Ketu is constantly reminding of the past, like the past of First World War and Second World War, and asking you to control your senses, because anger is also a form of sensual expression, and that's where government officials and the politicians need to control. So the Ketu is constantly reminding that don't indulge into the stupid sensual behavior. And I don't know from where I've learned this word stupid. I've been using that for last few weeks a lot. I've noticed that. So if it's annoying, I'm sorry. I somehow feel little annoyed because I don't like to use such words, but I've picked it up from somewhere and I still can't figure out the source of that. But anyhow, coming back to Ketu, what Ketu is doing is trying to remind you of the past, that past was horrible. Don't repeat that horror again. And that's where you have to be careful. Venus, on the other hand, is bringing very good harmony for relationships. If you are into relationships, suddenly you will recognize your partner as very charming, very caring, and you could see all the positive aspects. It's not that they don't have negative aspects, but the positive aspects would be larger than life, and you would be attracted towards that, and that will end up resolving a lot of problems. If you had some kind of stress in your relationship, you will see that you and your partner are now suddenly seeing each other's positive sides, and you are getting closer and closer. And by the time the eclipse energy ends after 6 months, you will realize that the negative things are very minor things and they don't even matter. So that's a very good blessing on individual relationships, but on a governmental level, relationships are bad. Moving on to Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn had a very tricky role in last 2 years, and with the corona and all those stuff, they were quite influencer in the sky. And many astrologers have spoken about that, so I won't get into what they have been doing in the sky, how they're influencing us, but what I'm going to talk about is what they're going to do in future. On one hand, Saturn now is trying to move the consciousness beyond this time and space where there's a lot of suffering and there's a lot of pain, and giving hopes to people to see things beyond here. So a lot of extraterrestrial things may happen on a larger level, which you and I may not notice very well, but there would be a larger energy shift on a global level where common people would be trying to move away from this crisis, and they would try to forget and resolve things and move on with their lives. But then always Saturn and Sun are in always a tight rift. So Sun represents governments, and Saturn represents common people. Common people want to move on, but the governments is so rigid in their ego right now. That would be a problem, and that's where the tension would arrive, that the governments would find themselves alone. They would not find the support of their people. Governments would be like, and to create a crisis, you might see some governments doing some stupid things. Again, I'm using stupid, yeah. Some crazy things to get attention from their people, and that's where they would indulge into tough fights with neighboring countries so that they get some attention, that they and they divert the attention, that they have neglected a lot many things within the country, but now there's a time of crisis where they have to deal with another country, but everything would be created because of ego. On the other hand, Jupiter is trying to set up an whole new pattern. Jupiter is going to change signs day after tomorrow. It would move into Aquarius. It's already in Aquarius from tropical zodiac, but in sidereal zodiac, it's going to move in Aquarius, and where it will start bringing a new conversation. Let's create a new world where we don't need a lot of stress, where we don't need a lot of pressure, and that's where Saturn and Jupiter would change the equation and try to bring a new way of thinking where people are a little more comfortable about sharing things with each other and helping each other little more. Like if you see pre COVID situation, people were very independent. At least in bigger cities, you would see that nobody would know their neighbors. Nobody would stop for a minute to help someone on the sideway path or on the subways. People would be running after uh, God knows what. They were crazy. They were always late for something. But suddenly now you would see a bigger shift that people are don't want to live that kind of life. They don't want to be part of this rat race. So that's the astrological update for next 6 months based on what I'm observing from the present eclipse chart. And in future, if there would be something else, I would be very happy to update about that. And also, if you are listening to this line, it's a test if you have survived till here. Do you want science specific uh, detailed tarot or astrological or both reading for Jupiter moving to Aquarius? If you want that, please leave a comment. And if I get few comments, then I would definitely do that. But do those readings. But it would be little time from now, a week from now. It's actually moving on 21st of November, but I'll uh, post them before the month end because that transit lasts for 1 year, so it's worth it. If you are really interested in that, then it will guide you for next 1 year. Thank you so much for watching this video, and now you will have the tarot reading after this part. Thank you. Bye bye. Namaste. Hello everyone, this is eclipse reading for the sign of Capricorn, and let's see what do we have for you. A lot of cards are jumping out. This card just stayed in my hand. So the very first card is Nine of Swords. What are you worried about? That's the whole thing. And this worry is very genuine. What I'm seeing here is that the cards are so unruly and they are so confused and they want to jump out constantly, and they don't want to stay in my hand while shuffling. So the energies are quite unruly and they are trying to create a havoc in your life. And but the hermit here is saying that you already know the answer. And why are you stressed about? Because you know your priority is your family. You know that your priority is your near and dear ones, and you have to find a way to give them little more attention, and that's where you would feel little more bliss. And that's where you would see that you are finding everything under control, and then you make a shift to finding bigger solutions for your problems. But initially you need to discuss what is happening in your life with your family, and give them priority, give them attention, try to resolve the issues between you and your family depending on whatever the dynamics are right now between you and them. And then you will see that you are moving towards creative solutions because your family members themselves are going to help you out to resolve the matter. Maybe if it is more of like you giving less time to your family and suddenly now you discuss this with them, then they'll tell you that okay, let's have very less time with each other, but let's have that time in a pure concrete way, so that the rest of the time you can devote to whatever you want to devote it to, if it's work or something else or something is bothering you. And somewhere that solution will immediately come up the moment you move back to your family. That's what they're saying. Even if the problem is not related to the family, start giving attention to your family and you will see that your family member is able to give you a proper solution. And then the heartbreak. Okay, although while giving that solution, this family member knows that they are little confused, they are little uh, feeling bad about, because the family members would make a sacrifice here about something, and they are feeling a little bad, and in the subconscious level they are little uh, confident that you would be able to create a new thing because of whatever the dynamics is going on, whatever the sacrifice is. But then they are little feeling little rejected, so take care of their emotions. But they are willing to help you, they are willing to make that sacrifice, they are willing to help you, and they are praying constantly to your success. And they also know that you are quite capable within inside themselves. They know that you are quite capable, you are capable of creating a bigger success for yourself as an individual, and they are rooting for that. They want to be a support in that whole process, but then they know that they also have to make a sacrifice for it, and that's where they're feeling little concerned, in a way that in a short term things won't add up, but in long term they know that you are going to take care of everyone in a big way. So what the cards here are telling, especially the King of Swords with the World card, is that there is this whole situation that is going to end very much by the end of this eclipse, or the next eclipse, which would be again sometime around this time of the year. For some of you, it will be over very soon, the hardship and the sacrifice and the results, the positive results that the family members are expecting. But for some of you, it might take a while, but definitely it is going to end in a very positive note that the world card is promising. So please, please, please don't lose your sleep. Please don't lose your heart. Please don't lose your mind right now. Be confident about yourself and try to discuss things at length with your family members, win their confidence, and they already have a lot of confidence on you. Only thing is that they're not able to speak that out very loudly and clearly because of short term issues that might just crop up with your current situation. Ten of Swords with sudden changes. So there is a certain thing that would end with this problem. It will bring some positive changes, and things would end up in a very sudden way. The tensed moment would end up in a very sudden way through some communications, through some email, through some letter, some kind of offer that is coming on your way. But of course, that is coming towards the end of the cycle, which is somewhere in May. For most of you, it is this is going to happen in May next year, but some of you it will get extended towards November next year. So the final cards here are the Emperor and the Queen of Swords, which are telling that you would be so practically successful by this whole cycle, by the end of this whole cycle, that you would be celebrating yourself, but you would always take everything with a pinch of salt, because you would be constantly under this reminder that a lot of sacrifice was made by your family for you to be successful, and you would be constantly thankful for that to your family or your close friends, whoever this represents. Ten of Pentacles can represent someone very close whom you consider as your family, and you would be very thankful to them, but then you would have that tinge of pain in your heart that things could have been a little more easier. But then who knows what kind of karmic uh, background you both share, and this was supposed to happen this way. Just leave it there. Don't take it to that level that you take it to your heart and mess up your solar plexus chakra. That's what they're saying. So this is your reading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, bye bye and namaste. And if you want to have a personal reading with me, visit my website astralluck.com. See you soon. Bye bye.